Why is it that you can take two people, two totally different people, both earn the exact same amount of money, one becomes wealthy and one always struggles? There's a reason, and we're going to talk about it. It's really interesting to me that you can take two different people, even two different kids in the same family, and see them operate through life completely different in the way they handle their money. Why is that?
I don't know. I mean, I guess it's their examples growing up, different surroundings,
Different personalities, but
everything.
Obviously,
Yes.
Yeah, the way
I
we
think
grew
family.
up and the exposure we have and how our families handled money and their mindset around money. What was yours like?
Mine, I don't remember being taught much about how to handle money.
So was it like hush hush with money? We don't talk about money. It's
I don't know that it was hush
secretive?
hush. It just wasn't ever really talked about you should save and things like that.
Well,
We kind of got whatever we asked for and didn't think much of it. So, and come to find, as I got older, found out, there wasn't much savings or anything. It was all,
there wasn't much
credit
money.
card debt.
Yet you were spoiled.
Right. Yes. I mean, yes.
Yes, you
so
were.
When I started working and making my own money, I spent pretty freely, but I did like to see my bank account have, obviously more money in it, but I never was taught how to handle it and what I should do and that I should save and, delayed gratification and all those things that we know now, but I had no idea. If I wanted a pair of shoes, I went and bought them. If I wanted whatever, I went and bought it, not thinking anything of it.
How did your parents do with money?
Well, terrible. Now that I'm older, I know that. But when I was young, I had no idea because it wasn't talked about. But yeah, I mean, they got in severe credit card debt because everything was, charge, and they overspent and didn't have money to, pay for everything.
So they're one of the two people we're talking about. You can have the exact same income.
Yes.
And one person can become wealthy and the other person can just either remain poor or challenged,
Right.
living
Struggle.
check to check. Yeah.
Yep.
And so the whole conversation really is why does this happen? Why does it happen?
I feel like I don't know. I think they're just not taught. People don't know what they don't know. So
It's a few things.
Yeah.
That's one of them.
Yeah.
So there's no education system basically around money. We teach history, math, all these things, but we don't literally talk about money. And even if they do, I promise you, it is not at the level that it needs to be.
It's different. They
Yeah.
have financial class in school now, but it's still
like-
very basic.
Very
most
basic,
part.
and it's not real world. Like, hey, why do I need the money? What do I do with the money, and how do I grow the money?
That's
Because
definitely, yes.
at some point, someday in your life, you're going to have more. And if you're not doing smart things with your money, mainly because they don't know what to do with it, you don't know until you get so far down the pipeline, and it may be too late. There's two camps. I would say there's one camp that people are just bad with money.
Yeah.
Because they feel deserving, like, oh, I worked for an hour, I earned, whatever that dollar amount is for that hour, so I deserve to spend it.
Yeah.
And they don't practice any delayed gratification.
Right.
One thing I know, had we not practiced delayed gratification, we wouldn't have the freedoms we have today.
Oh gosh.
It's just
Absolutely
abundantly clear.
not.
We get to live a life that a lot of people will never get to live.
Yep.
Because we delayed gratification. We weren't driving the fancy cars just because we could afford the monthly payment on one.
Yeah.
We weren't buying the big houses just because we may have just enough to put down to make it work.
Yeah.
We didn't do any of that stuff. We delayed it, and then all of a sudden we woke up and it had accumulated and built from that mindset that it turned into something that gives you some freedoms at that point. That's the number one challenge that I see with people, especially young people.
Now, what about you though? What was your growing up? You had a kind of a different experience, but
Oh my gosh, my mom was a tightwad.
yeah, yeah.
So the younger generation, they're gonna be like, "What's a tightwad?"
I know.
I don't really know what that
She was very
tightwad.
strict with her money.
Yeah, what it just means is she was super tight with the money.
Yeah.
Now, my parents grew up poor, and my dad did well for himself and pulled himself out of poverty. He was a hard worker, and I totally admire him for that. He would just bust his butt, do whatever it took.
Yes.
There were days I didn't even see my dad because he would work from before I got up and still wouldn't be home till after I was in bed.
Yeah.
So he fought for what he had to pull his family and us out of the poverty hole that he grew up in because he wanted something different. But he had to have a mind shift change too. And he had it at some point because he didn't want to live that way.
Right.
He wanted to do something different. So my mom, she was the one who handled the checkbook and the finances and everything. My dad just went out and just kind of, drove it. He was the hustler. She's the one who took care and managed the money. If you borrowed a nickel from my mom,
oh my goodness, she wrote it down.
It was recorded, and you're paying that nickel back.
There's nothing free.
Nothing free.
Yep.
Now it was fantastic, but because she was so studious with money, it allowed them to do something that really the odds were against them.
For sure.
But I grew up to where when I was growing up, we weren't wealthy, but my parents were slowly climbing out of the hole. So I grew up in an area called Bridgeton, and we were just average at best, below average for a while. I mean, there was a point in my life where we were below average. My mom didn't have a car and some of those things. And then when she finally got her first car and she was driving us back and forth to school instead of the bus, it broke down, it was a piece of junk. It was a Maverick, an old Maverick, like yellow. It was ugly. Anyway, so the point was, we didn't grow up with a lot, but they definitely had a conservative mindset. They were very conservative, and they didn't blow money on wasteless stuff. And that was part of what helped shape my mindset to understand a little bit how you spend money. Now, just because my parents did a little bit better didn't mean that I inherited being better.
Yeah. We didn't start off.
No.
We struggled.
We were what?
We were poor.
We were poor.
We were very poor.
We didn't have anything.
No.
We struggled to pay a $300-something house payment.
Yep.
And,
we had one car
had no
for
education,
years.
one car, and just trying to get by.
Yep.
Here's the thing. Between delayed gratification, number one, and the ability to see potential and be willing to chase after it, number two, that's what led to success.
So what changed your mindset? Because I was reading on here, like the scarcity mindset of, fear, like there's never enough money. Like people fear and want to hold on to money.
I still have that problem.
I know, but I'm saying like, we did delay gratification for a very long time, but what helped you have the shift in your mindset to let a little bit go or spend a little more or whatever it was?
Mine was, I always operated out of a fear mindset that, I heard Grant Cardone say this once, and I'm like, nice, it's not just me. You always have this lingering fear in the back of your mind of going broke.
Yeah.
And I've always felt that. We are extremely blessed. We are extremely blessed. We pretty much get what we want. We can have what we want. God's blessed our life immensely and blessed our efforts immensely. But that fear is always there. I think for me, the way I got past it was, if we wanted this, like the new house or whatever else, I would save and have so much more beyond what that would cost that I didn't have the pressure of trying to jump in just to live check by check, which is the American way.
Right.
So the cars, we didn't buy a new car until we were able to pay for the cars.
Right.
So it was a completely different mentality. And a lot of people are like, well, oh my gosh, you saved the money to pay for a car? Who does that? Anybody can do it.
Yeah.
Anybody can do it. It's delayed gratification.
Yeah.
And it's usually because you have so many nickel dime charges every month that you're giving money away. You'd be amazed at how it accumulates.
Yep.
So mine really was out of a fear thinking that allowed me to say, hey, look, I don't want to get myself in that pain point because, I was the only income earner and I didn't want to risk and put my family, in a bad spot or losing everything. I always had a fear mindset, hence the book, Fear to Fortune, that released a couple months ago. So that was just the way I operated. But at some point, you also have to start having confidence in yourself as well. Yeah. But if you're sitting on the sidelines and you're not doing anything extra to really push in, to grow, to stretch, to be better, then you just won't. Yeah. You've got to believe in yourself, first of all, because it's 100% possible. If this high school dropout can do what we've been blessed to be able to do and live the life that we get to live, trust me when I say, and I tell this, when I'm giving a keynote or whatever, so I say the same thing. Anybody can do it. Yeah. Anybody can do it. But they have to have the same tenacity and willingness to go fight. Yeah. And that's what I had. But anybody can do it. You just got to get up off the couch. So if someone's going to sit on the couch and whine about, I wish I had more, there's no opportunity. There's opportunity everywhere. It's everywhere. But you're not willing to do the work.
Right.
And success doesn't come, money doesn't come, winning doesn't come in any area unless you're willing to do the work.
Right. There's the old saying, money doesn't grow on trees. I mean, you got to really work hard for that.
Well, isn't it?
Okay, well, it's paper. Whatever. It does.
You're right. It doesn't grow on trees, but
yes,
it is made from trees.
Yes. Well, I'm just saying, people, you have to sacrifice. You have to.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, to get more.
Yeah, yeah. So look, I was chatting with a friend of mine today, and this guy, he's just a beast. I love him to death. He's amazing. His name's Chad, and he was the #1 Keller Williams agent for years running. I mean, he's just a monster. The guy is fantastic, and I love chatting with him, whatever else. I was at an event, and we were hanging out, and he did a keynote. And in his keynote, his whole conversation was mindset. Mindset. Yeah. Success comes from your mindset. It's a direct relation of your mindset.
Yep.
If you don't believe that you can win, if you don't believe that you can be successful, you will never be successful.
That's right.
And he said something, I was texting him today, just letting him know, because he sent me some goofy message that, it's always funny. So he always gives me a good laugh, because he's just like, raw! And I'm like, yeah, love that. And so he sends it to me, and I said, some kind of response, I'm like, I love that, Chad. I said, hey, thanks for reminding me, even though I'm big into mindset, I've studied mindset forever, that every morning when you wake up, the moment your eyes open, you should be grateful for something.
Yes.
And so now, sometimes we forget about those things, even though I teach that kind of stuff, and I'm all into mindset, but you can still kind of get foggy on some of that stuff. So ever since that talk, I've been waking up, and as soon as my eyes open, I'm usually staring at the ceiling or something. I'm like, thank you, God, for this day, for the breath in my lungs, and it's going to be an amazing day.
Yeah.
And then I climb out of bed. It's amazing. You're starting with positivity. You're starting with some gratitude, which just fuels the soul, and it feels good. And that's what it's really about, to get control of your mindset, because it's everything. Yeah. And that's exactly what I just told Chad today. I'm like, in the text, I said, man, mindset is everything.
Yeah, for sure.
So, if you want to be successful, if you want to reach the next level, or if you just want to level up, it always starts right here. It always starts right here. I'm my biggest roadblock. You're your biggest roadblock. Everyone listening, you are the biggest roadblock. There are no other things out there that are blocking you, because if you attack them long enough and you fail forward enough, you're going to end up finding yourself in a spot that you've surpassed it, and it became a win in your life. So, that's all I got to say.
Yeah, well, that's good. Change your mindset, and hopefully things grow and change.
No. That's a terrible mindset.
What?
Change your mindset and hopefully, change your mindset and things will change.
We'll cut that out.
You want to cut? No, we're leaving it.
No, we're not.
Oh, it's staying.
No.
It's staying.
Cut it out.
We'll see you next time. It's staying.